I'll use a large.
Whose alarm? That alarm is going to be relentless.
Because they're doing this all the time when they do.
I think that's Beauty's alarm. Hey, Rebecca!
It's somebody.
Heather up in the house.
I swear, at her funeral, I'm going to be up there speaking. And I'm going to have Tim. Hey, Tim, set the alarm to go off right when I'm talking. She's got all these alarms. She's got like 3 alarms during the day. You know, maybe we want to clip wings. We wait till night. We can come in here and catch people. We want to maybe get some people out or introduce people. Why do I say people?
I don't know. That's pretty funny.
If you call
might.
chickens pizza,
You might be a crazy chicken.
lady.
Welcome back to the Backyard Homesteader. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I sure had a great time not only being there and enjoying it, but also editing them for you. Let me know how you like them. Comment if you will. But yeah, sit back, enjoy. We're gonna see right now the chicken tractors and I think the ChickShaw. All right, come on, let's go check it out.
All you craziest chicken ladies, you might want to go inside your coop, talk to them, pet them. You know, by the way, if you've ever talked to a chicken, named a chicken, sang to a chicken, you might be a crazy chicken lady. If you're wearing anything with chickens on it, you might be a crazy chicken lady. Anyway, so, okay, I talked about going in the coop. I don't want to go in with the chicken. I'm not that crazy. So, I don't want to go in, so that means I can get my eggs from the outside. My buddy Chris Slattery's helping me write this book. It added this. I didn't even have this before because I always kept them in the net, didn't really need it. But guys, you don't even need a fence for this if your chickens are in it all the time. And if you watch the vlog, I've used this for a chicken tractor to get me a garden. I put it on my raised bed. We built this. As I've perfected this over the years, I said this has to fit over our raised beds. Mm-hmm. This will fit over the do-it-yourself raised beds that are in the plans. And you can use your chickens to put it over a raised bed to till, to manure, or to flip a garden. These nest boxes are removable. Everything's self-cleaning. Dirt can fall through the bottom of this. When they manure, I don't go scoop it out. You want to move that up a link? I don't shovel. I just move it a link. That's good. Everything's self-cleaning. I'll talk to you about how that's self-cleaning. So 12 chickens if it's their hotel, and 4 chickens if you're going to use it as a chicken tractor. And one thing that we did that was a really good decision. I'm not a carpenter. I'm not an engineer, and so I brought one on to partner with him. He's my co-author, Chris Slattery. He did Polyface Designs book, and he's really good. Really, if you follow, if you don't, not like me, you'll see a video I put out on. I built this just this week, and the video is coming out Monday. You know, I kind of got hurried. I didn't read the plans exactly, but if you follow the plans to T, you're going to end up having plastic that ends up wrapping around this nicely. You know, I kind of messed up and left the wood gap there, but. He has just really perfected these things. I don't know if there's any more improvements we can make on them. This is good if you got a little yard, you want to keep up to 12 chickens, you want to use it as a tractor. Oh, that's what I was saying. It was a tractor. I also used it as a pre-K. No, not pre-K, kindergarten. So if the brooder was pre-K, then I'm going to use this as a kindergarten. So the chicks are 3 weeks old. They're little layer chicks and still vulnerable to crows even. Well, I can raise up to 30 little chicks in there that are 3-4 weeks old up until like 8, 9, 10 weeks in this thing. I mean, if I was willing to move it twice a day, even further, that served as a little kindergarten until I could put them out in the pasture in one of these ChickShaws. You don't really need a fence. I haven't had anything big under them. Maybe you have something crazy, but I do have a guard dog running around. We do keep it more close to the house. One of our strategies was to bring this closer to the house and then not let them out. Mm-hmm. Nothing went through the effort to go underneath. It's going to take a bigger effort. This is a cool feature that you always want to latch this. They say, oh, I live in a windy place. when we've had hurricane residues come through, sometimes we've had to go through and even, now y'all are in Charleston, but anchor it. We've even took like temp anchors and anchored things down. But for the most part, in a regular wind event, as long as you keep this latch on, if you don't keep this latch on, the wind catches this roof, any of those roofs, and take it. That's the only time we've had problems with wind. Now, one cool thing Chris added, we like multi-purpose everything in permaculture. The perch becomes the roof prop.
Oh, nice.
That's coming clutch, man. That's been very handy. What else should I show you in here? The side frames are also the mounts for the perches. Wood, everything's more expensive now, right? So it took about what, $450 to build this thing with the cedar. It's probably going to be $100 less without the cedar. And you could still take the plant, find scraps, and maybe you need to make it smaller. Maybe it doesn't need. I've had people at least take the basis of the plant, kind of go off of that, and make it a 4x4 or 4x2. You know what I'm saying? But at least now you have the basis for creating something. You guys want to move on to the next one? Hey, you can't afford it. Here's an idea. Find somebody else who wants one, doesn't have time to build it, and say, hey, I'll build this for you. If it costs $350, you build it for $700, and you made $350.
Yeah, rinky-dink ones cost at least that much at Tractor Supply.
Yeah. If you're going to build one, you're going to be so much better at building the second one. So
yeah.
Sell them that first one.
There you go.
We always take. Okay, let's move on. We'll move on to the ChickShaw. Hundreds of birds behind a tractor. I didn't have a tractor when I invented this thing. I heard of the ChickShaw concept. I did. I actually tried to buy a prefabricated one when I was doing permaculture chickens. Didn't have any money. Tried to get them to sponsor me. They wouldn't do it. No big deal. Then I thought,
I bet they're
okay.
sorry now.
That would have been an early sponsor relationship. So then I said, okay, let's turn this problem into a solution. Everything's a blessing and a curse. So what's the blessing in this? Well, the blessing was I could build this with wood, something that everybody can get a hold of. Not everybody's going to want to weld and buy metal and fabricate things, right? So I just over the years developed something based on the Asian rickshaw. How you can move something. Let me see this for a second. Right? They just pick this up and carry people through town with it. I said, well, why can't we do that with chickens? So introducing the ChickShaw. So what it's good for, now this one can hold up to 36 birds. I mean, that's another thing. People don't know, but they can put a lot of birds in the thing. Our ChickShaw 3.0 down there with the compost, the original ChickShaw was 6 foot by 6 foot. And it wasn't that, why'd we go smaller? Well, we could only put so many, these wheels actually, thanks to the engineer, he's like, if 60 could fit in a 6 by 6, and it's not that that's a problem for the chickens, and it's not that we couldn't put more than 36 in here, it's like, that's the weight limit of these available, very readily available, non-flat wheels, okay? And let me speak to something about the wheels here. So the wheels, they're 36 inches. The only place I know to get them is at Northern Tool. And it's funny, you'll go to Northern Tool and look at these wheels on there, and I don't know what they're really sold for to do, but based on the reviews, you think they would be sold for the ChickShaw. There's all these people saying, I use this on my ChickShaw, it's great. It's tall. You're gonna wanna go cheap and you're gonna wanna get the small ones. You did that? Yeah. Well, when you do that, it's harder to pull and they don't go under it as well. So this is partly so multi-purpose everything. So now we have a place they can run under when a hawk's about, and it's super easy to pull. And the trick is, the floor is the perch. So we didn't have to take vertical space. You have to have these big walk-in coops because you got to create this vertical space. But in here we said, well, let's make the floor the perch. And then here's another one where people go cheap. They don't get the 1-inch mesh on the bottom. You made that mistake, Tim?
No. No. I'll use the
Whose alarm? That alarm is going to be relentless.
Because they're doing this all the time when they do.
I think that's Beauty's alarm. Hey, Rebecca!
It's somebody.
Her and Heather are up in the house.
I swear, at her funeral, I'm going to be up there speaking, and I'm going to have Tim. Hey, Tim, set the alarm to go off right when I'm talking. She's got all these alarms. She's got like 3 alarms during the day. Child! Hey, Gideon.
Lily's on it.
It doesn't bother the kids at all.
No.
They're probably used to hearing it,
Okay,
right?
thank you. Yeah.
It's like a school bell. They're used to hearing it.
So what was I saying? The 1-inch wire mesh. Why 1 inch? The manure falls through that.
Yep.
Unless you make a mistake and get a female guard goose, and in the spring the female guard goose pulls all the hay out of the nest box and makes a nest in the bottom of this thing, and poop won't fall through. I swear, we pulled this little one over. We pulled them off. These guys are actually our daily users, but we switched them out with some of the old ones so you guys could see these up close. And we pulled them up here to wash them. And we lift this up and I'm like, this doesn't need, you'll see it in the vlog, it doesn't really need washed. You see some residue or manure, but we've had chickens in that for several months now, and it didn't need washed out.
Wow. Nice.
So what do we do to clean our coops? We just move it forward to the lake. Okay? We don't
I
have to
heard
go in.
snakes can get in through 1 inch, so be careful if
Yeah.
you have snakes. But then if you do smaller, the manure doesn't.
And the trick is, if this is moved, it's going to be less likely that a snake's going to get in there. It's happened. We've opened this up and found black snake in the nest box. Again, just 2 feet tall. The floor is the nest. You won't come out here if there's 36 birds in here. You won't even see them right here. They'll all be cuddled up in the back. Take your surfs up, sign language, and that's how much space you need on a perch for a chicken. Ends up being about 7 to 9 inches ish. I think we rated this at, I think we did right in the middle, about 8 inches. In a pinch, this could hold more than 36. And really, you could build an 8x8, but you would want dually wheels, and you would want. My original ChickShaw had a frame out here to hold a bolt to be the axle, but then we found these 2-foot bolts that we could more easily bolt into the bottom. So you want to do this one if what? Up to 36 birds. If you want to move them, if you want to move around a pasture. Now you don't do this in a little tiny yard like this. You would rather have the ChickShaw Mini-Me or the Chicken Tractor. This is great. How are we using it? We actually have it rolling around in the compost. We call it the compost posse. Down there at the compost birds, we just move it around in there. We could follow the cows on pasture. The problem with following cows with chickens on pasture on a small stead like this, basically 40 acres or less, I don't care where you are, you could be at the back 40 way over there. The chickens come and manure and roost in their favorite spot, this pine tree. That's not the point. You want them to move behind the cows. So until we want to gird up our loins and start putting up a poultry net behind the cows, we just have them either in that compost area, or like you'll see in a minute, we will walk down there to see one of the pasture systems. We're moving them around once a week on pasture. After the cows have gone through. The cows have gone through, mow it down for us. Chickens don't like tall grass, and then we put in the chickens. And they add their fertilizer to the ground. So up to 36 birds in here. You could of course have less. It's good to have as an option. You got that flexibility. Taking off the clips will show you opening it. I rarely have to open this. You know, maybe once a year to spray it out, which is what we did before the show. Remember I said multi-purpose everything? Take your handle, and your handle becomes your prop. And so we might open it to catch somebody. You know, maybe we want to clip wings, we wait till night, we can come in here and catch people. We want to maybe get some people out or introduce people. Why do I say people?
I don't know. That's pretty funny.
If you call chickens pizza,
You might be a crazy chicken.
Okay? There we go. Simple and as easy as it can be. It took me probably all told, it took me 3 days to build that chicken tractor. but it was an hour here, an hour there, and that's going to be a lot of y'all's lifestyle. So,
Yeah.
you know, 3 days after work, or one full day. It'd probably take me 6-8 hours, undivided attention to build the chicken tractor. It's going to take you, I think it took Mike Dixon 2 days to build this. It's probably going to take you a day and a half. Well, that was probably just as difficult, even though it's smaller. It's probably 2 days on that. So it's going to have just as many steps. Okay? And they can't get on top. So you guys, a lot of your coops, people can get on the top. But on all these coops, there's no room. There's only like that much room. And we thought that through.
Right.
When we built this. Everything is so, it's so thought out. The width of the perches, how the wire sits down there, which way we put this diagonal brace. The door becomes the ramp. Okay? Original design, the door was in the front. But then the door, and then these legs, we didn't have this whole apparatus here. We had legs here. You're going to see in a minute. It's doing a wheelie down in the field. And we had our legs here. If you build one of the older ChickShaws, you end up with a ChickShaw doing a wheelie in the field. But what we end up doing is like, hey, instead of making an angle for our arms for pulling, we said, hey, let's make it the arms part of the bottom brace. This is an 8 foot or 6-7 foot piece. And let's just, instead of bringing it into 4 feet, let's just have it the width of the whole thing. 2 people could pull this. Scott and I could pull this a good bit. And then we said, you know, then we got a side-by-side and we're like, hey, wait a minute. We could go much further with these guys if we just created a hitch. So we created a rudimentary hitch, and then Chris came in and he's like, hey, wait a minute. You could have a hitch that's easily removed and looks really nice. So maybe we're taking this way out. We brought it over here with the hitch. You'll see in the vlog, we pulled one that didn't have this, and I'd put a kid in the back of the machine, and we're pulling or going real slow. But then this next one, we just hooked it up. So this would hook up to a mower or a side-by-side or a tractor or a truck. And then let's say, hey, I'm done. I want to store this, or I want to use it on another one. We swapped it out to use it on. I think we lost the other one, or we only have one. And you could just get rid of this. Okay.
Alrighty, well, hopefully that you enjoyed that. If you don't have chickens, maybe it doesn't excite you at all. If you made it this long, thank you for hanging around. I hope you're enjoying it, like I mentioned before. And we have more coming, so stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.